Hi, this is Mike from Kraftyhands. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to make this 6x6 shabby chic new home card. Perfect for when new neighbours move in, or when somebody's moving house, or if a couple have just got married and are moving in together for the first time. A perfect little card to send to them. Very, very shabby chic. Pastel colours, very muted. Just lovely. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I've already cut out all my elements here, so we're going to go ahead and assemble the card piece by piece. So I have my 6x6 card blank, which is a standard 6x6 cut from an A4, so therefore it's 297 millimeters by 148, folded at 148, so just fold it down the middle. Okay, so we'll begin by sticking the backing paper to the front of the card. I'm using a double-sided tape runner for speed and ease for the purpose of the video. If you want something more permanent, obviously you can use wet glue. Okay, so just line that up so it's centered. Doesn't really matter which way around you put this piece of backing paper, but I like it with the straps going across and the flowers down the left hand side. But you can put it whichever way up. It works just as well that way, or that way. It really is your choice. Okay, now we're going to create a kind of patchwork quilty effect. Now to do that, because we've already started off with a base layer, all we need are two different patterned panels, and these are just triangle ones, and they go in a pattern like that. Okay, now depending on which of the sentiments that you're going to use on there, and you have got a selection of sentiments. I'll just bring them through here. You've got congratulations, you've got welcome, you've got good luck, or you've got home is where the heart is. Now depending on which one of those you want to use, I would suggest you switch these round to whichever way suits the colour that you're doing the best. So for example, if you're having the deep pink one, then put the gingham at the bottom. But if you're having the damask at the bottom and the gingham at the top, then you'll want a contrasting colour, so the welcome or congratulations at the bottom. So I'm going to swap those around because I like the green gingham at the bottom and the pink damask at the top. So that's the way I'm going to stick those down. So as you can see, once they're in place, you do get that patchwork effect, which is really good because that is different to that side. It does look like there's 4 different backing papers on there. So, which is why I like to put that paper that way around. Okay, and I'm going to choose the home is where the heart is sentiment that will go down there. So, but we'll do that later. So first of all, we need to stick these down. So I'm going to turn it the wrong way up so I can line the corners up, and then move that up and push it so it's aligned at the top, so I know it's going to be exactly spot on. Turn it round and then do the same again. If you use wet glue, you have got more flexibility and manoeuvrability before the glue grabs. So you may be better off using that. So I'm just lining those corners up. It doesn't matter if you don't get these exactly lined up because you are going to be covering the centre of this up with your main topper. But there, so they're all stuck down. Okay, so at this point then you need to take your main topper, which will go right over the centre, creating that beautiful sort of mitered corner frame effect. Like that, so it looks like a mitered frame. So patchworky, but also looks framed. Very, very, yeah, very, very nice. Okay, so I'm going to take my sentiment, but before I stick it down, I want to stick it so it's at the underneath of there. So it's just coming out the bottom, so I know where that needs to go. So before we go any further, I'm going to add some glue along the top and then align that to the centre underneath. Just like that. Okay, so I've already put my foam pads on the underside of my pyramid topper, so I'll just remove the tops and then we'll get that stuck down and put in place. There are 4 layers to this pyramid topper, so I'll try and get this done as quickly as we can. Apologies, my top of my head pops into frame. I need to make sure I get it centered up properly. I want to be looking at my bald spot, which I haven't got, by the way. It was a joke. Okay, layer number 2. So again, we need to make sure we get this positioned just right. And then layer it over. Not so much a necessity when you haven't got anything that's really going to show it, but when you've got the words or the writing, you do need to make sure you kind of get it as near as you can, because it will show. So, layer number 3. Okay, here we go, the right way around. There. Beautiful. And then the final layer to go on, and normally I only put actually 1 large foam pad on the back of my top layer, but I've started to run out, so I'm economising. So I've had to use some smaller ones. Right, okay, so forgive me if my head comes into shot now. Yeah. Home sweet home. Okay, so we've got our sentiment in, we've got our pyramid topper done. All we need to do now is just to add our final embellishments to it. So once again, I'm going to be adding some little decorative buttons or faux buttons to it. I've added 3 down the side there and 3 down the side there on that one. I've used the green ones on this one. I'm going to use red ones on this one just to make it slightly different. I'm going to put them still going down the sides. So for this, I'm actually going to use some wet glue for this, because I find that it just a little bit easier, because they're going on flat, they're not going on 3D. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 3 dots of glue, and then I'm going to turn it round and do the same thing up here. All evenly spaced out. Okay, and then I'm just going to take, now you can use the rubber end of your poker tool if you want to, if you've got the rubber end on your poker tool, but what I tend to do is just lightly pick up with the end of my knife, and then you can position them spot on, and turn it around, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now I've got the luxury of just positioning them where I want them, because I've used wet glue. Yeah. Done. Now again, for these you can add more gems to it if you want to. You could add glitter to it, you could add some glossy accents onto the roses in the picture if you want to, for dewdrop effects. Again, you could add, if you wanted to, a doily on the back, or even some lace around it, just to give it that bit of extra framing. This is just the basic layout for the card, showing you what you can do with the resources on the CD, but by all means raid your stash for whatever you've got and add to it. It's entirely up to you. Okay, I think we're done. So once again, thanks for watching the card. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join us again for the next time. Thanks for watching.